This might be the best laptop so far this year, and I've partnered with ASUS to show you the new ProArt P16. If you're a content creator but you love gaming, then listen up because the specs on this thing are through the roof. The one I have here has the AMD Ryzen AI9HX370, 64GB of RAM, 2TB SSD, and an NVIDIA 5090 laptop GPU with 24GB of GDDR7, 120Hz 4K tandem OLED. This is the dream laptop on paper, but does it live up to the hype? I got a lot to show you, but first, let's start with the unboxing. This is my first ProArt laptop from ASUS, so I want to talk about the design. I love that it's minimal and understated, but there are a few touches that make this laptop stand out. This is a CNC aluminum body build with this nano black anodized process, and it looks super sleek. The new logo blends right in with the stealthy hinge, and I love that there is a subtle lip where the meat lids the body so you can easily open it with just one finger, so it easily passes that test. And look at this texture that goes all around the frame of the display. It gives it a subtle grip and textural change, and I really love it. For a 16-inch laptop, this is surprisingly portable. The keyboard is fantastic. It is a chiclet style, but it has the right amount of travel, great tactility, and I like that it's not too flat. So this is a great everyday keyboard. The glass trackpad is huge, and it's not haptic, but it's very responsive. And this dial pad is something that I've never used before on a laptop. This gesture from the top right corner turns it on, and you will see a light there when it is active, and this will give you a smaller touchpad for more precise navigation, and you can get scroll wheel level control on everyday system controls. Look at here, I can scrub through YouTube videos or quickly change the speed, or I can get finite control in my creative apps like Adobe, Blackmagic, or CapCut, and it is fully customizable in the ASUS dialpad settings, and it also has Microsoft Wheel device support, so that is cool. Ports wise, you get a nice balance. On the left, you get a proprietary DC charging port for that 240 watt power brick that is needed for a system like this. Full size HDMI 2.1, 40 gigabits per second USB 4 port, USB A 3.2 port, and a combo audio jack. And on the other side, you get a full size SD card slot, which is a definite necessity for content creators. Another USB A 3.2 port and a USB-C 3.2 port, good for 10 gigabits per second. Sadly, no Thunderbolt 4 or 5 here, but you do get mil standard 810H durability. So it is very rugged without looking bulky like a field laptop. If you are a Mac user and you are wondering, this is almost identical in footprint to the 16-inch MacBook Pro, but it is slightly thinner and lighter, so ASUS really killed it with this one. There's also a 6-speaker system here with Dolby Atmos support, and it sounds great, which I'm really happy with. Take a listen versus the MacBook Pro 16 and tell me which one sounds better. The star of the show is this gorgeous 16-inch 4K 120Hz display. This specific configuration has the ASUS Lumina Pro OLED, which is a tandem OLED display, so you are going to get better brightness output. This panel is capable of 1600 nits of HDR peak brightness, so this is significantly brighter than other panels. In fact, I think this is the brightest display that I've ever used on a laptop. The panel is color accurate and covers 100% of the DCI P3 color gamut, and it also has an anti-reflective coating on it. Now, it isn't nearly as strong as matte displays, which can impact the sharpness of the display, but this is much appreciated, especially when you're working on it outside, combined with the high brightness output. I also like that the color controls are easy to find right in the ProArt Creator Hub, so if you need to adjust the panel, you can, or if you need to recalibrate the display after a while, it's all right here. The tandem OLED means better flicker reduction and PWM dimming, so this is better for eye care as well. So these are all important things to a content creator who will be staring at this screen for long periods of time. Plus, it's a touchscreen too. It does have a little wobble like most touchscreens do, but I think this is one of the best displays that I've seen on a laptop, period. Everything looks so sharp and fluid with the 120 Hz refresh rate, so I don't think you'll be disappointed at all. There is no fingerprint scanner, but you have an IR camera set up with Windows Hello support, which is the best secure way to get into your laptop. I prefer this because it's just so easy. I love the convenience of Windows Hello. This laptop was engineered for creative professionals and great everyday computing, but you can also game on this, and I'll show you that in just a little bit. As I've said on my other videos, my main editor is Final Cut Pro, so that keeps me on my 16-inch MacBook Pro when it comes to creative tasks, but I'm challenging myself to learn DaVinci Resolve in the next few months because I want to really be able to push these systems for better laptop reviews, but the scrubbing and editing is so smooth on this as expected, so creators will have no problem with video editing. Here are a few of the Puget creator benchmarks for these specific creative apps so you can get an idea of what this system can do. Since I don't use Photoshop or After Effects, this is an idea of what the system can do if you use these programs. While it's not breaking records for benchmarks on the CPU side of things, it's the GPU that makes the big difference. I love the fact that the performance of the CPU is great when it's plugged in. We've seen the Ryzen HX 370 series before, but look at the benchmark with it unplugged. It's almost the same output, so that is incredible. Where the GPU unplugged, you do get a significant drop in performance due to the TDP. Asus has some useful software to fine-tune the performance of this machine, but the ones I found interesting are StoryCube and MuseTree. With StoryCube, I like that you can organize all of your video content in one place and send them to your favorite NLE, but the most interesting piece of the puzzle is the Asus and GoPro partnership. You get 6 months free of the premium subscription service, so all of your GoPro footage that you shoot can show up in here, including footage from the new 8K camera. I actually have one here with me and I got to test it out for a little bit, and the playback was so smooth on this, so I really like this partnership. What I'm hoping for though in the future is that they add editing capabilities here, which I think would take this partnership to the next level. With the MuseTree, this uses AI and the power of the GPU to help you generate images and come up with ideas. The interface is neat, so if you need to make tweaks, you can see exactly how far the process has come. I can see this being great for creative professionals when it comes to storyboarding. When I first looked at this laptop with these incredible specs and saw the size of it, I was immediately worried about the thermals, but I like that they included a vapor chamber on this configuration because this is what keeps the laptop cool for sustained performance. Of course, it does get warm under heavy load, but nothing crazy. I have not experienced throttling so far in my week with it, which is impressive. The fan noise can be controlled with profiles, and with silent, you can use this computer anywhere. And even when the system is pushed to the max with gaming, the fans ramp up and you can hear it, but it's nowhere near as loud as some of their gaming laptops that I've checked out in the past. So if you are editing on the road, you don't have to worry about the fans getting too loud, even when it's time to export. If you are wondering, you get the vapor chamber with the 5090, 5080, and 5070 Ti, but you get a triple fan setup in the 5070 and 5060 config. The back is very easy to get into, and there are the NVMe SSDs, which are fast, and here are the speeds from them. This is also the amount of storage that was available before I installed anything on my 2TB config, but you can go all the way up to 4TB if needed. This laptop is using MediaTek's Wi-Fi 7 solution, which gave me some solid speeds at home, which is needed for media uploads, downloads, and gaming reliability. The RAM is soldered on, so you'll have to pick how much RAM that you need when you're ordering. And here's the large 90 watt-hour battery, which is nice. This laptop has solid battery life. This is going to be good for 8 to 10 hours of mixed use. So this is a fantastic everyday laptop, content creation laptop, and it's surprisingly good at gaming. I think this is pretty clear. This is not meant to be a gaming laptop. You can clearly see that because there's no Armoury Crate software. All of the profiles are controlled in the Creator Hub software, so you can pick which one is best for you for what you're doing. But there is a manual mode here where you can boost up that GPU to give it higher wattage. But to be honest, for a casual gamer, you're not going to even need this because I was able to play Street Fighter 6 on high settings at 2K resolution with no issues without it being plugged in. So this is solid. At 4K unplugged, it was doing only about 25 to 30 frames per second, so I will stick to a lower resolution if you're not plugged in. But when you are plugged in, this is what you can expect. All of these games were tested using the performance setting only. Street Fighter 6 was playing in 4K resolution with all the settings turned up, and it was running a solid 60 frames per second. And while I know this is not the most demanding game, this looks amazing at this resolution. Doom Eternal, I set it to Ultra Nightmare at 4K resolution, and as expected, it was doing well over 120 frames per second, so it will match the refresh rate of this display with no issues. Cyberpunk 2077, I was able to kick this into 4K resolution as well, and it played beautifully above 120 frames per second as well with DLSS on. So if you want to do some serious gaming on this laptop, you can do that as well, which makes this laptop so versatile. Same thing with Elder Ring. I was able to put it in 4K resolution and it ran smooth at 60 frames per second. I believe the game is locked to 60 frames per second on all platforms, and not sure why they did this, but if you're a fan of this game, it looks amazing in 4K. I mean, why not? Let's throw in Shadow of the Tomb Raider for old time's sake. Even on 4K resolution, it benchmarked an average of 109 frames per second, which is very respectable. So if you want to take a break from creative tasks and game, you can definitely do that on this laptop. So that is it. That is the Asus ProArt P16, and I think this is the most balanced laptop for creators and gamers, and it has the best display that I've ever seen on a laptop. It has really good performance and great battery life, and I think this is the perfect laptop for creative professionals if you can afford it. It's not cheap by any means, but make sure you check the links down below because you never know when it will go on sale, and that's the best time to pick it up, and you never know when you'll find this video. So thank you for watching. Let me know what you think of the Asus ProArt P16, and if you have any questions, ask away in the comment section below, and I'll do my best to answer them. Subscribe for more like this, and I will see you in the next one.